What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the All Things Considered Disc Golf podcast, where we consider all things disc golf. I'm your host, Jacob, joined as always by Cam Dog Homie. Cameron, why don't you go and tell the people what we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, Waco has just ended, and we got some good storylines from both the FPO and NPO sides. Lots to talk about there, and then we're going to kind of briefly run across the first attempt, unfortunately, of the world record longest blindfolded ace. Attempt number 1. So we got, what else we got? We got Price is Wrong after that, per usual.
I got a good one for you.
Question of the day after that, and then we're going to get out of here. Yeah. So first things first, Waco just finished, actually not too long ago for us. FPO Silo, you want to start there?
Yeah, I would love to. No surprise, and maybe surprise to the name because if you didn't know that she got married, but Kristin Lott taking it down in her first event of the season.
Pretty handedly. Honestly.
Yeah, 7 strokes. Just go ahead and raise your hand if anybody here thought that she wasn't going to win. Yeah, no, that's about what we figured. And I don't want to beat a dead horse here. You know what I mean? Because I love Kristin. I think Kristin is by far and away the best FPO player in the world. I think that's pretty hot take if you think differently. But I do know that there's a lot of people, Cameron, I think I've heard you talk about this and other people have said similar things where like Kristin's dominance almost makes it like not fun to watch sometimes, like maybe a little boring to watch. And I honestly couldn't disagree more because I find that I'm not rooting against Kristin at all, but I do like the idea of like seeing who's going to try to take it from her week in and week out because she can't lose. Like she's human. Like she lost Worlds last year to Evelina. She's lost events, but it's difficult. Like, and it is pretty rare. So it's fun to see who's going to try to step up to the challenge.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of the comments that I was seeing after the Pro Tour had posted that she won that people were like, oh, great, it's going to be another boring season watching Kristin just dominate the FPO field. One, I can see where they're coming from because it's very like Paul Macbeth 2015 where he just won everything.
I guess are you just mad that you're witnessing history? Like I don't.
Right, which honestly, now that you put it like that, it's like, whoa. But at the same time, like, it's weird. I don't know what it is, but I kind of got tired of watching Gannon win last year. But for whatever reason, Kristin winning just doesn't seem to get old to me. No?
Maybe. I mean, I just think
I don't know how to explain it.
To other sports, like you're watching dominance at a level we really haven't seen it to this extent. Like Paige and Katrina Allen, for example, went back and forth as pretty much a tag team throughout the 2010s and early 2020s in the FPO side. And pretty much one of them was winning every event. It wasn't always one or always the other, but one of them was winning consistently. Mm-hmm. But this is just like Kristin, when she's in the field, you think she's going to win. And it makes me think like I'm not a Warriors fan, but whenever the Warriors went 73-9, I didn't get tired of watching Warriors basketball. Like I wanted to watch it more, even though I'm like, yeah, it's actually very likely they're going to win this game. And like betting odds were like atrociously hilarious in favor of the Warriors every single game. And yeah, I didn't get tired of that. I still enjoyed watching it. So I think people that make comments like that are just, they must not be Kristin fans. They're fans of Holland or Paige or somebody else.
Yeah. No, and I think, I mean, one, if you would have said who do you think's winning, I would have said Kristin regardless. But I think as far as like the Brazos East course goes, I think it fits her style. She's not the longest thrower. You know what I mean? She's not the Ella Hansen or the Holland Hanley, like those big distance throwers, but she's a throw clean shot, make a good putt, get off the hole. You know what I mean? I think this type of course suits her game more even than she like other courses already do. You know what I mean? Like she's going to shoot well anywhere, but I feel like these like shorter technical stuff, it's like, that's just what she does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to say that my face was kind of surprised when you said that when you go back and edit this later. But, like, surprised as in, like, I don't think there's many courses that they go to on tour where it, like, doesn't suit her strengths.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was more so just getting at the distance, that it being a shorter course. Sure. Like, those players tend to struggle, especially we'll talk about that on the MPO side as well. But Holland Hanley did finish second, so maybe eat my words like a touch. Because she is probably one of those distance. Even a Hina Blumroos in third, she's kind of a distance one as well. Missy Gannon and Ella Hansen, who's also a distance thrower as well. So I don't know, maybe.
But they're also like the best consistently. Like those are
Sure,
those are household names.
Yeah, especially then Owen Scoggins right there as well. So yeah, it is the usual, suspects that are finishing up at the top of these events. So I mean, and I feel like that's just how it is. You might see Missy, podium at least. Evelina somewhere. I don't even know where she ended up at.
Was Evelina in this event?
She was, yeah. I want to say she was on. She was on feature maybe.
Oh,
she finished 14th, 3 down for the event.
Not great.
No, 20 strokes.
What was the putting percentage?
I don't even know.
Not to be targeting, but
yeah.
I'm curious.
Oh, there she is. Well, final day, she was 11 for 20 from C1X.
Oh.
So
11 for 20?
Yeah. So 55% there.
Oh, man.
We're just got to do it now. Round 2.
That's brutal. Oh, don't tell me.
Round 2, she was 0 for 9 C1X, 0 for 6 Circle 2 putting.
Oh, man.
That's pretty crazy, actually. And then
I
want to say she had maybe...
there was a round tab on the player thing right there?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, 9 for 13, round 1.
So how'd you start out well and then go over?
I don't know.
Was it windier day 2?
I do believe it was pretty windy day 2, so you could probably give her that. It was windy day 1, it was windy day 2, and then it apparently was pretty calm this final day. So I will say putts were definitely not the best. Round 2, I'm trying to just let's look at Owen, who's statistically a good putter. Owen day 2 was 6 for 11, so she was just above 50% from Circle 1 on day 2. So, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Here's 2 schools of thought. Yes, the putting was harder, absolutely, with the win, but to not make one. She didn't make a single putt. Everything she made was tap-ins to just get off the hole.
I mean, you got to think she had a 15-footer in there.
I'm pretty sure I saw a clip of her airballing one. But enough Evelina slander. Let's get back to the task at hand here.
Kristin Lott, 1 for 1 so far.
Yeah, and it just kind of poses the question, and I just thought of this. Does she win more than she loses this year?
Yeah. I think she's done that every year that she's played for the last 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
See, because she only, her and Missy won the same amount. What was it, 7 or 8 events last year?
Something like that, yeah.
So they both won the same amount, but Kristin played 7 less events.
Yeah. That's actually crazy. I knew she was out for a while, but when you put it in perspective like that, that's pretty insane. But so I mean,
but Missy Gannon is player of the year though.
Right.
But we're not going to.
Yeah, no, we won't go there. We won't go there. We won't go there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's only the beginning for Kristin. Obviously, I mean, I don't think someone like this doesn't just fall off the face of the earth. No. But I mean, you obviously, if you like her in Texas this week, you got to like her in Texas next week. You know what I mean?
Yep. Paige Pierce last year opened in Austin. Shout out to Paige Pierce.
She did. Not her best event. Tied 15th. Finished 2 down here, but this year, so not her best work. But I still think she's figuring it out. After the and that's the thing too. When you break your leg in
leg injury. Yeah,
break your leg in general. But she's a small individual.
Yeah.
So to come back from that already being so small, super tough to do. So the fact that she's still playing at a high level, you got to give her a little bit of credit for that. Yeah. But I don't know. I think she'll figure it out. However, again, if I was going to put Paige's best, right now, Paige's best versus Kristin's best, you still go Kristin regardless. So I think that's just, I mean, we're definitely, this won't be the only time we're talking about Kristin Starr winning an event this year at all. Sure. Not even close. So, yeah, I mean, 7 strokes. And honestly, the last thing I'll say, I only watched FPO final round from the FPO. I watched some of first round NPO and then most of the last round. But Kristin and the commentators actually agreed with me at the end there, which kind of made me feel a little better about my thoughts. But she did not play super well. She shot 9 down final round, which is good. That's, I think, the second hottest round.
What was her putting percentage in round 3?
Her putting percentage in round 3 was 100%. Oh. 0 for 4 Circle 2, but 12 for 12 C1X. So she was kind of dialed there. But she really, I won't say she messed up per se, but her lines were off quite a bit. But so, I mean, the fact that she didn't shoot great, still shot 9 down this final round and 10-16 average for the entire event.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's tough to look at, especially like when you think about when she's going to be like on her best. You know, that's kind of scary. I do, before we move on, I want to give a quick shout out to Rebecca Cox. Finished 8th is what it is. I mean, top 10. Shot an 11 down course record final round with straight up 11 birdies. So super clean, 1035 rated. I think they were saying that's the highest round of her career. So shouts to Rebecca Cox.
Let's go.
MPO here, fireworks,
pretty
to
crazy,
say the least.
Pretty crazy ending. We watched it live right before we started recording.
Yes, there was a lot that happened.
Particularly in the last 2 holes.
The last, It probably started around 12, 13.
Oh, okay.
And then it just domino effect. Anyways, Adam Hammis taking it down.
Shouts to Adam.
Yeah. I don't know. We were watching and we had, I mean, to start the round, it was Calvin, Paul, Adam, then AB was kind of the order there. It was pretty much Calvin and Paul. They kind of like pulled away there for a bit. And then towards the end, both of them, Paul was first, but they just crumbled.
Cataclysmic.
It was honestly tough to like. It was hard to watch.
Yeah. Cameron really wants Paul McBeth to get a win this year. I think a lot of people want Paul McBeth to get a win this year, but Cameron really wants Paul McBeth to get a win. And I tuned in. I was looking at the scores right before I left to come down here to record. And I saw that Paul and Adam at that time actually were tied for the lead, and Calvin was 1 stroke off. And I'm like, dude, Paul McBeth could like make a run for it. And I get to the store. It's about 45-minute drive for me, an hour for Cameron. And we get out of it. We pull in almost at the same time, and we get out of the car. I'm like, dude, so is Paul going to take it home? Because I hadn't been checking the scores, and Cameron said he choked.
It was so bad. I think it was, let me go back to it. I think it was like hole 12. Where is he? It was hole 13. It's 555 par 4, low wind. So like Brian was saying, it's pretty attackable. Calvin went first out the tee and just kind of hyzered out. He throws far. So he was probably, 475 up there at least, just hyzers out. So they were kind of like, oh man, is Paul going to try to match? He's got a good opportunity to just go ahead and go for it because Calvin's not going to, get the eagle or anything like that. There's no stress. So you can tell Paul is definitely trying to go for it. Hits one of the first trees, shoots like straight right out of bounds. But I guess he missed the Mando before he went out. There was a lot of discussion there. So he took it from the drop zone, ended up missing like just outside a circle for his par. So he took a bogey there. Calvin's up 2 strokes. And then it just kind of, stayed pretty consistent from there. Nothing real. But then it was hole like 16 and 17. It's just when it started going
off the rails.
The best way, and we'll explain scores and everything, but the best way I could explain like the last couple of holes was that nobody wanted to win. Everyone was playing to lose. Adam Hammis played the best of the worst right there as far as the lead card goes. The chase cards were actually popping off today. The lead card was kind of a bummer to watch for the most part. But
Adam Hammis still shot like 11 under today, I think.
He did, yeah, which is absolutely incredible. But he finished 30, but Calvin he only shot 5 down. I think Paul shot 6 down. Paul shot even on the back 9.
That's tough. And the hard part is that, so yeah, Paul has a couple bad holes. So then it's really a 2-horse race. Tie game going into hole 17. And then Adam throws a good forehand. That's a strength of Adams. Throws a good forehand, but then it's tight in between a couple of trees. So it's not an easy upshot to a treacherous green. The Brazos River, lake or whatever, is to the left. He has to throw over the whole way there. Calvin comes up after him and hits nearly the first tree and kicks immediately right out of bounds. So off the rip, you're like, okay, that's going to be a tough one to come back from.
That hurts.
And then he tries to go over everything to try to be aggressive and save par. Immediately out of bounds again, has to basically throw from the same spot. Pitch around, pitch up, banged a 60-footer though, but to save double bogey.
For double, yeah.
Whereas Adam based it. one of the best upshots I've ever seen on that hole.
Yeah.
He went wide over the water the whole time, skipped a forehand just inbounds right by the
Hit
basket.
the koozie.
Hit the koozie on the basket. I mean,
So,
a tremendous shot.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's great for him.
Really, the only person giving him trouble was Simon.
Yeah,
off the
Simon
chase
from
card.
Chase.
Simon went birdie on 17-18 to put all the pressure on Adam to basically say, go into a playoff with me or win it. And Adam threw a great shot on 18, had like a 38-footer, I think they said, banged it for the win.
Yeah, dead
So
center.
you got to give it to him. I mean, everybody was saying like, oh, maybe he'll lay up and go to a playoff. I'm like, why would he do that? I feel like that puts all the momentum in Simon's lap to do that. But instead he just, banged a 38-footer on an elevated basket.
I mean, that's the way, even if you miss, I still think that's the play.
Yeah.
You know, is it risky? Obviously, you know, because with the water behind, especially on like that hole 18. But Simon, I wasn't rooting against Adam per se, but I was certainly wanting other people to win before him. Good for him. But yeah, Simon finished second.
Discraft's 2 for 2.
Discraft is 2 for 2. But Simon finished second at 29. And then you have this list of like the most random names right now. This is the complete opposite of FPO, where I said it's the usual.
the top 5 here.
I'll probably even do like top 10. Nico LaCastro, third place. Great Missouri guy.
Missouri legend.
You just don't see him at the top a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
Evan Smith tied third as well at 27 down. Andrew Marweed,
come on,
he's a notable name.
One of the best putters in the world.
You don't see him at the top a lot.
No,
That's just a matter of the fact.
No, you do not.
Evan Scott, who
you hear about him a lot more these days.
Yeah,
He's there.
I think you hear about more Evan Smith these days than Evan Scott.
I've heard about Evan Scott.
Sure, I mean, so have I. But he finished 26th. Gannon, highest finish of the year, T5, 26th. He's pretty much the only one where you're like, okay, yeah, sure. Next, we have Grady Shue out there, who he's good for like 2 of these a year, probably. I mean, no shade, but like he's like an A-tier merchant. He's always popping off with those. Yeah. Greg Barsby, who again, notable name. Just that's
a world champion you're dogging on right there.
Sure, but these days you just don't see him up there as much as you'd like to.
Not often.
Calvin ended up finishing 5th
off the lead card
after all that.
Yeah. I think that's one thing to note, though, is that Nate was even talking about this a little bit. The people showed out today at Waco round 3. He said there was somewhere around like 1,500 people.
That's what he said. I don't know if that's right.
And so you got to be thinking about that. And at a course like this, score separation doesn't really happen that often. So yeah, how many people were within 5 strokes? A ton. 30 was the final winning score.
Yeah.
I mean, down into 14, 15. I mean, so many people are tied 14th, tied whatever at 25 under. So there's just so many people so close to you that you feel like you almost have to attack constantly.
Absolutely.
It is like it's. I feel like Waco is a pro tour equivalent of like a birdie or die course. Like you have to be averaging under double digits. Every time.
That's definitely like a great way to put it. Which is interesting because like I get, and I don't know if anyone saw like watches practice rounds or anything like that, but there was a lot of hate coming into this course from a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's some that understand the course is what it is. It's a shorter course. It's a little more technical. You don't have to throw these big bombs. I actually don't think there's like maybe hole 2 is probably going to be you're pumping out your hardest drive. But there was a lot of people that didn't like it because it was a short technical course. But again, I do think that's like pretty accurate that this is definitely, as far as the Pro Tour course, the Pro Tour goes, this course is definitely, birdie or die. But I want to throw out some notable names, and I kind of read off a few of them, just playing like at the top, but that played well. So Nico, I mean, this top 3 has to be his best finish in at least a year, as far as I can remember.
Well, he won Waco 2 years ago. Wasn't that 2 years ago? Or was that the year he was suspended?
No, that might have been 2021. We were pretty fresh in disc golf when that was happening, I believe.
No.
Really?
No.
I don't know. You can check that out. But Nico's up there. Obviously, Evan Smith, Andrew Marweed. These guys, again, you see them. They're good.
No, I lied. It was
2021?
2021.
Let's go. But you see these guys maybe once every 5, 6, maybe 7 events. You see him pop up on the leaderboard. But, James Conrad finished tied 11th. Yeah, again, notable name. You just don't see him that much. Shout out Paul Kranz. with a little tied 14 finish. Bradley Williams tied 14. Paul Ulibarri, who you were going to bring up, finished tied 19th. He had a great event.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look.
Love to see Paul succeed. I just love watching him do well.
Yeah, he averaged 10:38 for the event, but I mean he had some very, very solid rounds. And yeah, you like to see like Yuli, like Greg, you like to see those guys play well because they're kind of like icons in the game.
Oh geez.
Ezra Aderhold kind of fell off.
Ezra Robinson fell off too.
Yeah. One big shout out, this was who I was kind of working towards, was Jake Mon.
Come on, Jake.
So yeah, he shot a 49. He shot 15 down with 15 birdies, 3 pars, and I guess he missed a circle 1 putt for another birdie. So he was potential 16 down, but 15 down. The 49 is what they were saying. So obviously the course changes. The 15 is he tied the course record with Paul McBeth when Paul McBeth shot 18. So they both shot 49s. However, the course has just changed to be slightly more than.
So he was technically 1 stroke away from the course record, even though Paul McBeth shot 18 under when he got that course record?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. The missed putt, brutal. But, I mean, he moved up 34 spots today with a 15 down. So, insane. Yeah. Kevin Jones had a good finish.
Let's go, Kev.
Top 26.
Come on, Kev.
I saw he had a big putt at the end there. And then you kind of get to the usual suspects. Andrew finished tied 38. He moved up 11 spots today with a 10 down round.
Nice. Let's go.
Ricky Wysocki, pretty quiet 38th place today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Waco is, and I say this every year, is that it's always a random person I feel like that wins. Like Gannon won last year, which is like, but that was his first win of the year. Mm-hmm. And nobody knew the season he was going to have last year after he won Waco. Yeah. But then he went on to win Waco, and he went back-to-back in Austin last year, I think. So,
no,
yeah.
Niklas won Austin last year.
Oh, you're so right. He won Austin the year before, I think.
I think so, yeah. He's got the cowboy hat.
He does have the cowboy hat. Yeah, so nobody expected Gannon to have the season he had last year after winning Waco. So obviously it turned out to be like, oh, well, yeah, of course Gannon won. But that was the first one. So, but yeah, there's always just random people there. And I feel like really good players sometimes just struggle there for some reason. Like I never see Ricky up at the top at Waco.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. There's always a few, like the Calvins, the Pauls that always hang around. You're never not going to see at least one of them. But yeah, I mean, because what? Let's just try to go back here. I mean, so Gannon last year, who won before that?
Kyle Klein, I think.
He's around there, but still with the randomness, kind of. Nico won 2021. Colton Montgomery's in there once or twice.
I think he was 20. He was the COVID one because that was the last event of that year.
Yeah, Germ won that one year. So yeah, it just is like, for whatever reason, and maybe because it's early, people are still kind of figuring it out. That they're, someone's good for that because like you really don't.
Yeah, it was Gannon, Kyle. Oh wow, Paul won in 2022. How about that?
Okay.
And then Nico Castro in 2021. And then it made me go to a different thing. Bruh. Yeah, all right. I can't see farther. All right. But yeah, Nico won in 2021.
I'm pretty sure it was Colton Montgomery after that, and then maybe Germ before that.
Yeah.
But regardless, I do think it's probably because it's a bit early in the season that people are still kind of figuring things out. As far as like, just dialing in the game. Because you really don't see... There's always a couple every year where it's random, quote unquote random winners, like Joey Anderson at Idlewild,
or like Cole Redon the year before at Ledgestone.
Yeah, where you just don't really see it coming. But for some reason, Waco, there's always someone, someone lurking. You know what I mean? That's kind of like out of the norm.
Well, yeah, like Luke Humphreys last year too.
I feel bad for him, man. He had a couple. He had Waco and he had. Beaver State, I think he was up there like for most of the final round and then had a couple bad holes and fell apart. But I don't know. I think he could win one for sure. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But Waco, a lot of fireworks. If you haven't watched, I would recommend go watching Jomez when that comes out. Or I guess it probably will be Jomez that comes out with that, obviously. So definitely check that out. Yeah. Ready to move on?
Yep.
Any final words of Waco?
Nope.
Also. Last thing with Waco Annual Charity Open. They were saying that so many times, and I feel like I just like subconsciously knew that, but that's like the acronym for it, but it spells Waco.
Yeah, come on, man.
I mean, I know it's. I just don't think I ever paid attention to it. You know what I mean? It was Waco. It's in Waco, so I'm like, okay, that all checks out to me. Anyways, I'm gonna stop being stupid. We're gonna move on to the world record attempt number 1.
Electric experience. If you guys were out there or tuned in live, thank you. Like, that was honestly so fun. I was initially on the Instagram live. We had our buddy Luke Stockton doing YouTube live on the catch cam. And yeah, hanging out, interacting, talking with you guys on the live was super fun. At least that kept me very engaged. Because after a while, like, vibes were high. Actually, just go ahead and tell them what happened first, and then we'll talk details.
Well, do we want to spoil it, or?
I mean, yeah, you
Obviously,
already said attempt number 1, indicating there will be more than one attempt.
Sure. I obviously didn't make it after all that, but I hit metal several times, and I say several pretty loosely because I threw. We're estimating somewhere between 300 and 400 shots we were out there for probably about 3
Cameron's
hours.
got 3 gnarly blisters on his hand.
Yeah, it's pretty
Different
brutal.
fingers.
Just where the disc sits on forehand. It's like all the pressure points are just pretty gnarly. But hit metal several times. I had one brutal chain out.
Yep, I mean, hit center. Just bounced right out.
I went back and watched it because I didn't know like what it looked like.
Did it make you feel worse?
A little bit, because if you go watch it, it's at like 2 hours 2 minutes on our like most recent live stream on YouTube. It hits high, sure, and maybe a bit right in relation to the teapot. It's backwards because it's coming from behind.
I know. I already know what you're gonna say.
But the fact that it literally hit and stuck for like literally, I mean, a second and a half. And then it's like once the chains just straightened back out, just shot it out.
Well, it 50-50'd on the basket. I don't even know if you noticed that.
I don't think I was
It like hit the basket and then flopped out.
Yeah, so it was
crushing.
It was brutal because initially
you could hear it so loud. Like the chains was so loud.
And like from my perspective, it hit, I hear it hit and everyone goes, all within a matter. So like I'm jumping up and then like I am like, what happened? But they were like, no, it chained out. And I was like, no. But I mean, I think like, what is it? Concurrent, through the 3 hours from Instagram and YouTube, we had like right around 300 total viewers, like unique viewers throughout that whole thing. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you guys for watching that. That's
awesome.
Yeah,
it would have been a lot cooler, obviously, had it gone in. But I think, fortunately, I get to try again.
Yeah.
And so, which is always, obviously nice, which I think, I was talking about, I think that will make it a little sweeter. Because, like, obviously, it would have been just...
Well, also, just got to say, shout out to Zach and Ben and Major and James from Flippy James. If you guys don't know Flippy James from his YouTube channel, go check him out. He was on his way through from they're from like St. Louis area, right? Mm-hmm. And he was on his way to Dallas, and it happened to line up the same day. And so he surprised us and showed up. And it was just like there were 4 or 5 guys that just came out and watched. It was electric. It was so fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Everybody was kind of getting in on it. They were like holding the phone, doing the live, interacting with the people, getting discs for Cameron. Major was absolutely just sprinting back and forth, getting discs for Cameron, because he would get like locked in on certain ones. So like, okay, we need those discs back. We want him to stay here. On that type of feel. And yeah, it was awesome. It was electric. I didn't know we had 300 unique viewers on the live. That is super cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for doing that. That's awesome.
But
we want more of you out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're gonna try to like. It was pretty spur of the moment as far as like letting people know, because we were just gonna go out and do it, but then we were like, might as well. If people want to come watch, they can come watch and potentially, I guess, witness history, if you want to call it that. But I think next time, we're planning for sometime late April, early May for a second attempt. But I think we're going to try to kind of push that out a little earlier, a little better. Because we'd love to see like a bunch, like, I mean, I say a bunch, but I mean, if we had double the people, 10 plus people out there, watching or selfishly, shagging discs, where I
will say that made it a lot easier.
Just a constant chain reaction of people picking up. That would be
initially.
It
was just me and Cameron there initially, in the morning. and I was out handing the phone to Cameron. He would blindfoldingly talk to the camera, and I'm running back and forth getting discs. Like it was a much faster process when we had other people there, obviously. So it was fun.
I really enjoyed that. But yeah, we're gonna do it again. I mean, we'll do it as long as it takes, honestly, because I'm pretty determined now.
Yeah. We know it's doable. Yeah, we know it's doable.
We were getting dialed, and the weird thing is, it was 148 feet confirmed, but drivers seem to be the play, and I think I was missing.
It was very funny.
I was missing short so much, but because like in my head it's only 150 feet, so I don't have to throw it that hard. But I was throwing a lot of like overstable approach, like zone, Toro, Justice. Tempos. I was throwing a lot of those and just missing short. I think I had the line on some of them, but the drivers to play, weirdly enough.
Yeah, because you didn't have to throw very hard, but it was so fast it got there quickly.
Yeah, and I think I just need a collection of like 7 speeds now.
Yeah, I think that is one thing that we will be doing differently is we will be putting out a call to action to you all for like a specific mold. Like I think the T-Bird slot is the money slot.
Yeah, overstable 7.
It stays pretty straight and isn't dumpy like Firebirds.
Yeah.
So if you've got T-Birds, if you've got FD2s, if you've got Athenas.
Athena was the one that hit the chains, by the way.
It was a blue Athena, yeah. If you would be willing to donate them to the cause, that would be electric. Because I think that was the hard part too, is we were switching through a different mold basically every time. So like you might have a T-Bird, but then you'd have a Destroyer, and then you'd have a Wraith, and then you'd have an Athena, and then you'd have a Mockingbird, and so you just were throwing different discs every time, and that also wasn't helpful.
Yeah, and we were doing our best, like obviously to adjust, but like towards the end there, it was basically like I just like held my hand out and threw. I like did not matter the disc. We were just kind of Jacob would basically towards the end would tell me like left, right, and then I would just try to adjust on where I was missing. But yeah, I think definitely will be a call to action if you have those overstable or straight to stable 7 speeds. Obviously, we say donate to the cause. Just pop out there next time we do it and
not actually
bring your bag. Because
now I would say this: the Guinness people, Guinness World Records, they do request that we donate something like from the moment to be displayed in the Guinness World Record Museum. Do we know where that is?
I literally have no idea where that is.
Wherever it is, they want something there, a memento from the event. So it doesn't have to be that, but I would say maybe you'd be willing to donate said disc if it is the one that gets aced. It might get to go in the Guinness World Record Museum.
Don't let me throw. It looks like there's several. San Antonio, Texas, and Copenhagen.
We'd probably be going to the San Antonio, Texas one.
I'd be down for that. Yeah. There's a bunch of attractions. However, those museums are. That'd be cool. I mean, I'd make the drive. Granted, that's pretty South Texas, but I'd drive to San Antonio to see the disc in there
for sure.
Assuming they actually hang it up, because it's so niche. But yeah. Tip number 1, tried. I don't even want to say failed. Obviously, we didn't get it. Yeah. But
it made me feel really optimistic. There were a lot of times where we were very hopeful.
Absolutely. And pretty, I will say, towards, after the chain out, the air you could kind of feel was out of the room after that.
Yeah. We lost some momentum there.
Yeah,
it was a sucker punch.
Yeah, that was that's literally as close as you could get without. But I mean, I hit front of the basket several times.
Hit pole.
I hit
the top of the basket once.
Yeah. So I mean, I was all over it again. Let's just assume it was 300, and I think I hit it probably about what?
I would say 5 times.
5?
Yeah.
Oh. 5 divided by 300.
So that's about 1% of the time.
1.5% of the time I was hitting the basket.
That's
which
funny.
Realistically, when you think about it,
it's basically 1 in every 100 tries you're hitting the basket.
Yeesh. All right. Well,
every 1.5 times.
Every 50 or 75 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not good at math. However, the tip number 1 come and gone. Tip number 2, probably about a month-ish, I guess. A month and a half-ish until we try it again. But I think that's it. We have the Price is Wrong. You got something for me?
Yes, sir. Got the sucker loaded up on Facebook. Oh, and then it went away. Give me just 1 second. I'm just going to tell you honestly. I am not trying to fool you.
Okay.
Okay? I think that's going to be a really big hint for you.
Interesting.
Yeah. A brand new disc golf basket. Looks like one of the MVP ones right over there, actually, that we have in the store.
Okay.
This is posted up in this guy's living room. This is what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, not a trick question. Figured I'd give you a layup every once in a while. You know what I mean? Because we drop ship these. Like you should know how much.
I know exactly how much they are. So yes, again, he's talking about the MVP black hole light. I think is the basket. Did he say it was new, used?
He said brand new, actually.
Brand new. Well, so brand new, they're $139.99. So I feel as though I should say that, but maybe he's going to go $100 just to get rid of it. So I'm going to say $100.
$100, locking it in.
I'm going to lock it in.
I didn't read you the description.
No. Well, I thought it was brand new.
So, okay. So this is where maybe that would have been helpful because the title does say basically brand new. So that's on me. Description. Bought it for my son's birthday. Barely used. He's ready to sell. Just sat in his room. Will not ship. Will have to be picked up.
Sure.
Do you want to change your answer?
I'm going to go like 115 then. I'll go 120. He took a $10 off of it. 120 locked in.
120 locked in. It is $120.
Let's go.
Good job. Description helped.
It's very helpful. I think I would have been pretty out there had I not known how much those cost.
Yeah,
now.
we do literally. We're looking at one right now.
If you want one, drop ship.
We can drop ship. We can bring it right to you.
Same day shipping.
Right to you. Question of the week, and then we're out of here.
Yeah. I'll read it. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's see. What would your Tour Series disc be? And we are going disc and plastic.
Any manufacturer, any mold.
Are we going to say you can mix and match
Sure.
disc to plastic? Because that's kind of...
Yeah.
You want to go first? Or I got to think of mine.
Okay. I think I know mine. Yeah, I think I know mine.
Okay.
I think mine's so vanilla, but it's because it's just my favorite disc.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna do it, and it would be a Champion Rock 3. Like that would be mine. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't thrown Kevin's new like Halo rock situations, but those seem cool.
I think the Champion Rock 3 is a classic, and people would buy that. But I think you gotta go some type of Halo-ish.
No, I'm not looking for sales. Oh. Like I'm just saying, what do I want my name associated?
I'm looking for sales.
Oh,
I want this disc
it's just all about money for Cameron. It's about the love of the game for me.
Okay, yeah. So based on that, I think I would
up to interpretation, I guess.
Sure, I would want mine. I think, and granted, I guess I could throw a Force or a Nuke should I really want to, but the Destroyer's kind of my disc. 2, I would either want the Jawbreaker Z Flex Destroyer, because I think the Jawbreaker Z Flex from last year, Discraft, if you're not familiar, but was not as stable as a stock disc was from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it would be the People's Destroyer. I think
like
for the masses. Yeah, it's like the Evelina Destroyers. So I think I would either do that, or I would do like a K1 soft destroyer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost me on that.
No, because I just put a K1 soft Falk in my bag, and that plastic is S tier.
I like it a lot. I like the K1 plastic though. Castor Plastic makes really good plastic. Really good plastic.
But yes, K1 soft destroyer. That way you can pump it out hard.
No skips.
It's going to hit the ground. It's going to dig, and that's what I would want. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Anyways, that would be my Tour Series disc. K1 soft destroyer, Jawbreaker Z Flex destroyer, and that's all I got.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. We will see you guys next Monday, where we'll be talking about the Open at Austin. But until then, we'll see you in the next one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what your Tour Series disc would be, and we will see you next week.